Alright guys, so now we're going to be moving on to question 4. We're just going to be starting with our functions. Okay, cool. So we're given f at x being equals to 2 over x, and uchi at x no lingana no x minus 1. Okay, right, cool. So we can easily see la which this is a representation of an unshifted parabola graph, and then la sine a straight line graph. Okay, that is actually represented by uchi at x. Okay, now determine the coordinates of the points where two graphs intersect. So 4.1 twasithola ama coordinates la khona ama graph ethu wo2 intersector khona. Okay, so I've got to say this, guys, ukuthi for me, the one of the most important questions in your question paper is actually question 1. And whatever you learn in question 1, you'll always make use of it and apply it kumanye ama questions azolandela. Okay, so when it comes to lo mbuzo lo othi determine ama points of intersection of two graphs, yila khona usebenzisa khona your simultaneous equation principles. So in other words, uzonotice la ukuthi sino f at x being equals to 2 over x, and f at x can be represented as y. Okay, so uyabona la ukuthi it means y being equals to 2 over x. Okay, and then bese siba no y being equals to x minus 1. Okay, right, cool. So what I'm saying to you is, uma ngabe kufanele uthola ama point of intersection of two graphs, you can always make use of a principle yama simultaneous equations. Okay, so in other words, la it means equation 1, and then la sinobani equation 2. And then what you can do is, siyazi ukuthi normally the first step is to generate equation 3, because aim generate equation 3 ila khona sifuna ukurepresenta i-variable eyodwa in terms of the other one. But uzonotice la ukuthi already sisitshele ukuthi y ulingana nalento le. Okay, so because la ama graphs asuke intersector khona asuke lingana asuke sepointini elilodwa, so you can easily equate these two equations to solve for your value of x. Okay, and then you can therefore make use of any equation to calculate your value of y. So in other words, we're just gonna be equating them. So sizoba nobani, soba no 2 over x being equals to x minus 1. Okay, right, cool. Then you're gonna be following the basics of solver for x. Okay, so whenever you've got a denominator, okay, you can always get rid of that denominator by multiplying ngale denominator lay on both sides. So to get rid of lo x lo, so multiply ngo x ngala, siphinde futhi simultiply ngobani ngo x nangale. So x and x will go, sisale no 2 elingana, and then it's multiply ngo x nangala. So x times x will give us x squared, and then x times minus 1 will give us minus x. Okay, so siyabona ke ukuthi land isinikeza a beautiful quadratic equation, but to fulfill it, okay, we need to transpose lo 2 simise ngale. Okay, so it's important for you guys to actually know to go to once 1 or x or squared, 1 or munyu x ongekho squared. So that means you've got to apply a principle of factorizer. And then because it's a number la, it means value kasile. So you have to transpose lo 2 lo to the other side, and therefore basically a solver for this quadratic equation. So sala no 0 elingana no x squared minus x. Okay, got the positive ngala, mase fika ngale usezoba negative minus 2. Okay, and then vagalana we'll have our 0. We'll have to factorize that. Okay, so to do that, sizovula a set of 2 brackets. Okay, and then we're going to ask ourselves, okay, since it's no x squared la, so therefore we can put our x there and our x there. And then we're going to say which factors of 2 when multiplied to one another will give us 2, but when added or subtracted would give us 1 lola. Okay, so that's obviously going to be 2 no 1. Fairly, there's only 2 factors, got 2 1 no 2. And then we're going to look at in nature ama signs a2. So since we've got negative la, it means I'm assigning it our fani, so we'll have plus and minus. And then since no negative la, negative lo sitshela ukuthi ke ifactor yethu enkulu kuma factors ethu wo2 izoba njani, izoba negative. So it means u2 uzoba ngale, 1 abe ngala. Okay, and straight from here we can solve for our x. by actually isolating ama-factors ethu ngawanye siwalinganisa no-0 noma u-x-ke minus 2 will be equals to u-0. So x wethu la will be equals to u-1 noma u-x wethu la will be equals to u-2. Okay, right, cool. So since sinabo x bethu, we can therefore calculate our y values by substituting labo x laba to any equation. So you can use your second equation or you can use your first equation to calculate all y bakho respectively. So I'm just going to use my first one. So ngizoba no y is equals to, so la ngibona khona x sengizofakela bani u-1 ukuthola ukuthi u-y uba ubani ngenkathi u-x u-1. So ngizoba no 2 divided by -1, and then my y in this case will be equals to -2. So in other words, ngenkathi u-x -1, okay, u-y yena uba ubani uba u-2. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing over this side. So soba no y being equals to, ngibuyise lo 2 lo njobe njalo 2 over, bese kuthi la ngibona khona u-x ngisubstitute lo 2 lo, then over 2, and then my y will be equals to 1. Okay, and then ithini ke ama-coordinates amesibili athi ngenkathi u-x ewu-2 u-y wami uba ubani uba u-1. So these are my second coordinates. So determine the coordinates of the points where the two graphs intersect. So nanka ama coordinates ami. So awuqala athi -1 is 2, -2. Okay, then awesibili ami athini athi 2 is 2 is to 1. Okay, right, cool, sorted.